Stuart, how do you reflect on that 90 minutes?
I think it's a case of three individual errors really cost us today. Could have started and could have played better in the first half, no question about it. Sometimes it can be easier to do that in the second half when you're 2-0 down, but I just look at the nature of the goals. I know you guys have just spoken to Archie. He's come to Easter Road and not had a save to make. You concede 3 goals. I expect when you come here you'll need your goalkeeper at some stage in the game, and that's my biggest frustration. The game management, the kind of mental fatigue that possibly started to set in as much as physical. Defending your back post, going to receive the ball and not let it run through you, and then ultimately the penalty at a stage where we get ourselves back in 2-1 and we look as if we're growing into the game, and we look as if we're the more progressive side, it has to be said, at that stage, and you fancy we'll carve out a chance or two at that point, and to give that penalty away at that stage quite clearly gives Hibs the lift that they needed, and it gives them a platform just to see the game out.
Do you have any complaints about the penalty?
No complaints about the penalty, no.
How frustrating was it that you weren't able to sort of have that stage to build after you'd got the go back?
Unbelievably frustrating, as I say. You know, he feels if we've got the likes of Callum Slattery on the pitch. Young Kai Andrews I thought was excellent in the game overall, and I thought he really grew in the second half and felt as if we were retaining the ball far better. Marvin Coletta gave us something on the left hand side, and we started to activate our forward players, so you believe there's at least one more chance out there for you, potentially more. And as I say, at that stage, it was a kind of rare 40 into our final third from Hibs. Goalkeeper comes and takes the ball comfortably, and Stephen, is our most experienced player, disappointed naturally with the decision he makes. It is a penalty, but as I say, when the goalkeeper claims it so easy, I feel like it should be 2-1 and we should be defending better, in a better body position than he gets into, and trust your goalkeeper for exactly what he does. You know, it's not a danger. So frustrating when I look at all 3 goals, and you're not going to be able to give them away coming here, especially with the form that they find themselves in.
What does your goalkeeping situation look like over the 24, 40 hours, in terms of Edgy going back and Archie coming in, and Aston's injuries?
But listen, I'll not lie, the last couple of days has been as challenging as it probably has been in several years of management for me. You find a situation where you've got 2 good goalkeepers, one that's played unbelievably well against Kilmarnock in midweek, and then you find yourself at a stage yesterday afternoon where you don't have a goalkeeper to play in the game. It's not a scenario that I envisaged. It's not a scenario that we thought was going to materialise. Fortunately, we managed to bring in Archie, and you know, I don't think he'd done virtually anything wrong in the game. I don't think he was overly tested in the game today. So we're delighted to get him, but we also had to bring in Matty Conley back from emergency loan at East Kilbride. So we need to assess it. We need to have a look at how long exactly we think Aston will be out. He gave it a go today. He just couldn't. He couldn't take part in the game, and he tried to put himself out there, but it wasn't going to quite happen with the nature of the injury. So we have to assess that. We have to assess everything over the next 24, 48 hours, to be honest with you, because you can see again the walking wounded and the severe injuries as it looks, and the severity of the injuries that we seem to sustain rears its head yet again today.
What is Aston's injury, and how is Paul McGinn as well? He looked pretty distraught when he came off the first half.
Yeah, again, I'm not able to tell you exactly the extent of the injury, but what I can tell you is Aston's got a fracture in his thumb, and was struggling to catch the ball yesterday, so I'm guessing that's going to have an impact for a number of weeks until that heals. And then looking at Paul McGinn, Paul knows his body and he knows the game of football as well as Andy with his experience, and he feels it's a reoccurrence of the injury that kept him out for several months. So the extent of that I don't know, but that's certainly how he feels.
Given your recent schedule, then does that help you have a week between now and the Scottish Cup game?
Yeah, we've been longing for it, I'm not going to lie. You know, Hibs obviously had several days extra to recover and to prepare for today. Not an excuse, but as I say, you can see the energy levels are low. I make 6 changes to try and keep a freshness to our group, but we've had a real look at it. 6 games in the last 17 days. Players have not been away for the club for a day over Christmas and New Year, including Christmas Day, Hogmanay, New Year's Day. It's been a real toll on us. There's no question about that. And if you're playing every 2.8 days, as I think some of your guys told me yesterday, then it's going to have that bearing. But we need to give the players a day off. We need to get them away from the place. We need to get them off their feet, and we need to assess the squad again. We need to look to see where we can try and make those improvements, be it getting people ready to play, or starting to patch up and try and allow some of the guys to recover.
Given the injury problems you've got at the moment, disappointment as well with the sending off at the end, would be obviously the potential suspension.
Majorly, yeah. Obviously, it's the last seconds of the game. I've had a look at it from several different angles there. Some people overreact in these situations. For me, it's a yellow card all day long. You actually look at it, it's more of a clip. He's trying to clip Martin Boyle's ankles. I'm not saying that's right, but he's trying to stop the counter attack. And for me, it's just a complete overreaction. Yet again, I think that if the referee gives that as a yellow card, VAR will look at that and he'll just accept that it's a yellow card. Probably like most of us in the room. He's tried to clip him. He's tried to stop the attack. And for years of playing, coaching, managing in football, I generally see them as yellow cards. If you look through time, you'll see them normally given as yellow cards, but the referee wanted to overreact.
Is that something you'll look to appeal then?
We'll have another look at it, whether you're going to win these appeals or not. I'm probably just speaking for the heart and what I see in a game of football as opposed to what's going through the referee's mind at that point. All right, thank you.